Rome wasn't built in a day, and its history is one of the most exciting stories ever told. It all started in 753 BCE, at least according to legend, when twin brothers Romulus and Remus founded the city of Rome. The story goes that they were abandoned as babies and raised by a she-wolf before being taken in by a shepherd. When they grew up, Romulus and Remus decided to build a city, but they couldn't agree on where it should be. A fight broke out, and Romulus ended up killing Remus. With no one left to challenge him, Romulus named the city after himself, Rome, and became its first king. This was the legendary beginning of what would become one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. At first, Rome was just a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber River. It was ruled by kings, and over the years, the city grew in power. But not everyone was happy with the way things were run. The Roman people grew tired of having kings who ruled with absolute power, especially when some of them became cruel and unfair. In 509 BCE, the Romans overthrew their last king, Tarquin the Proud, and decided they would never be ruled by a king again. Instead, they created a republic, a new system of government where leaders were elected rather than inheriting their power. The Roman Republic was very different from a monarchy. Instead of having a king, Rome was governed by two consuls who were elected each year. There was also a Senate made up of Rome's most powerful and wealthy men. This system allowed Rome to grow and expand, as decisions were made by many people instead of just one ruler. However, not everyone had equal power. Most of the power was in the hands of the patricians, or wealthy landowners, while the plebeians, or common people, had very little say in government. Over time, the plebeians fought for more rights and eventually gained the ability to elect their own representatives, called tribunes, who could protect their interests. Rome was not just growing politically, it was expanding its territory as well. Early on, Rome fought wars with its neighbors in Italy, slowly taking control of the entire Italian peninsula. But Rome wasn't satisfied with just controlling Italy. The Republic wanted more land, more power, and more resources. This led to a series of major wars, including the Punic Wars against Carthage, a powerful city in North Africa. The most famous of these wars was the Second Punic War, when the Carthaginian general Hannibal marched an army, including war elephants, over the Alps to attack Rome. Despite his incredible strategy and early victories, Rome ultimately defeated Carthage and became the dominant power in the Mediterranean. As Rome expanded, it became incredibly wealthy. The Republic controlled vast territories including Spain, Greece, and parts of the Middle East. But with great wealth came great problems. The government became corrupt, and the gap between the rich and the poor grew wider. Many small farmers lost their land to wealthy elites, and the common people, or plebeians, struggled to survive. To make matters worse, the Roman military became more loyal to its generals than to the Republic itself. This set the stage for one of Rome's most famous figures, Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a brilliant military leader and politician. He conquered Gaul, modern-day France, and became incredibly popular with both his soldiers and the Roman people. However, his growing power made the Senate nervous. In 49 BCE, Caesar defied the Senate's orders and marched his army across the Rubicon River, effectively declaring war on the Republic. He quickly took control of Rome and declared himself dictator for life. But not everyone was happy about this. On March 15th, 44 BCE, the infamous Ides of March, Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators who feared he was becoming too powerful. Caesar's death led to chaos. His adopted heir, Octavian, along with his allies, including Mark Antony, fought against those who had killed Caesar. Eventually, Octavian emerged victorious and became Rome's first emperor, taking the name Augustus. This marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Under Augustus, Rome entered a period of peace and prosperity, known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. This era, which lasted about 200 years, was a time of stability, economic growth, and cultural achievements. The empire stretched from Britain to the Middle East, and its roads, buildings, and aqueducts were marvels of engineering. The Colosseum, where gladiators fought for the entertainment of the masses, was built during this time. Trade flourished, art and literature thrived, and Rome became the center of the ancient world. However, no empire lasts forever. Over time, Rome faced a series of internal and external problems. Corrupt emperors, economic troubles, and constant invasions from barbarian tribes weakened the empire. In 284 CE, Emperor Diocletian tried to save Rome by splitting it into two parts: the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. While the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive, the Western Roman Empire struggled to survive. In 476 CE, the Western Roman Empire officially fell when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown by a Germanic leader named Odoacer. This event is often considered the end of the ancient Roman Empire. However, the Eastern Roman Empire continued to exist for nearly 1,000 more years until it fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. Despite its fall, Rome's legacy lives on. Its ideas about government, law, architecture, and language continue to influence the modern world. Many modern-day governments, including the United States, are based on Roman principles. Latin, the language of the Romans, is the foundation for many modern languages, including Italian, French, and Spanish. Roman architecture, with its grand arches and domes, can still be seen in buildings today. Even our calendar, with months like July and August, named after Julius Caesar and Augustus, is a reminder of Rome's lasting impact. The story of Rome is a story of ambition, power, innovation, and resilience. From a small village on the banks of the Tiber River to one of the greatest empires in history, Rome's journey is a testament to human ingenuity and determination.